That's the tension with these guys. Good morning. So today I'm going to be building a clothesline. This has been on my to-do list for a while now. Pretty much since I showed you the washing machine that we bought. So from the time that we bought the washing machine until now, what we've been doing anytime that I need to do laundry is taking some leftover string line that we had laying around, and we would string it from Terry's ladder on the backside, and then we would go and park the trailer and tie it through the trailer, and then take some lines to our empty IBC tote that we used to transfer with, and then that was our makeshift clothesline. But with us setting the fence post and us currently using our trailer as a transportation for all the materials that we need, I haven't been able to do laundry. So we are very backed up on laundry. So Elijah and I talked about it, and we figured that it is finally time for us to make a clothesline. So we're going to sacrifice 2 of our fence posts that I have prepped and ready to go in the ground, because we're going to have to do one more order, so for the far side, so I might as well just add in what we're missing. And then we had 3 posts that we needed to go and swap out, so I'm going to use 2 of the fence posts that I already prepped, and then I'm going to take one of the ones that we were going to take back. It just had a little bend in it, which wouldn't be good for the fence, but since it's getting cut in half, it doesn't matter. And yesterday Elijah brought home some bolts, so I have some 6-inch bolts so that I can bolt the T, and then he also brought home wire, and so that wire is going to end up being the actual string line. So my goal is to do a 4-strand string line, with each strand being about 23 to 24 feet long from end to end. I think that will be enough. I think if it was me and Elijah, I can get away with something a lot smaller or shorter, but with the kids, pretty much they come in covered in dirt and mud every single day, so we usually will cycle through their clothes so pretty quickly. So with that in mind, let me show you what I've already done this morning. Okay, so we decided on our clothesline going over here. It's just, right next to our IBC tote, because this one is going to be moving. We're eventually going to move that to the shed, but pretty much I ogged out the first hole there this morning, and then the other hole is right around there. So that's about a 24-foot difference. That will give me a foot extra for each line, because I have a 100-foot line that I'll cut up into 25-foot pieces, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so these are going to be the boards that we're working with today. I still have all of these fence posts here and all these here that I still need to prep to go into the ground. But I have these 3 that are ready, so I'm going to take 2 of these 3, and those will be my neck of the T. And then I'm going to take this one, which was our twisted one, and I already started cutting it in half with the regular circular saw, but I think I need to find the Sawzall, which we're not sure where that is, so I'm going to go see if I can take a second look and find it. If not, then I'll maybe try again with the circular saw. I got this one cut in half. I ended up having to use a mini chainsaw to get it cut in half, because I could not find the Sawzall. Elijah did a cleanup, and I have no idea where he put it. He doesn't remember where he put it, and it's not with the rest of the tools. Like, we have every single other tool except for the Sawzall, so I'm like, of course. But at least got him cut in half. So with that in mind, I think I'm going to do a measurement. I'll get the average measurement, because I know that these are no longer exactly 4 feet. So I'll get the average measurement of these guys, and then find the center. Once I find the center, then I will measure out 2 inches on both sides of the center, so that I can then notch out a space, which I'm scared to notch out a space using that chainsaw, because that chainsaw is just unpredictable. Like, not scared as in using it, but just scared as what kind of cut I'm gonna get. So I really wish I could find the Sawzall. So our center is going to be about here. And then we want 2 inches on each side. That'll be 2, and then put it at the 26. And that will get us where we need to get. That will give us a good enough notch out. I think I'm going to notch out, because I have a 6-foot bolt, so 2 of these put together are 8 inches, so I didn't want to, I guess, notch out. Let's see if I can get these actually together. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we know we're going to notch out those, and then I need to turn them to their side. Okay, so we're going to take 2 inches out of this one and 1 inch out of the other one. Then if it comes down to it, I can always take more out. So you're going to measure. Okay, this is where I've gotten to. The battery died on the saw, and of course all our other batteries are dead. So I'm charging up batteries as we speak, which is fine because I was able to get this one completed. So these are our initial cuts, and then I've seen people do this where they go in and they make little mini cuts. And so what I'm hoping is that I can go in and kind of like chisel these pieces out, I guess, is what I'm trying to do. And then I'll maybe go in and sand the inside. I started to do that one with this one, but that one died. So I think so far we're making good progress. The blade cut a little bit too deep on these, but I think that'll be fine. I'll see how they fit into the regular 4x4 first before I decide to cut that one. And then if it needs to, then I'll go ahead and notch out that one. But I'm gonna go ahead and, while that's charging, I'll mess around with this and see if I can get this chiseled out. I know we have a wood chiseling kit that's around here somewhere. So it is later in the day, a lot later in the day. It ended up getting up to 105 degrees today. So was not working out here in that weather. So we're gonna pick back up where we left off. I'm gonna show you what I've done so far and then what I'm gonna do for the next one. And the batteries did have time to charge. This is what I did earlier. You remember when I told you that I was looking for the wood chiseling kit. So before I found the wood chiseling kit, I ended up finding one of our garden stakes first. So I used this to notch out this entire side. So this entire side is down to the depth that I want it to be at. You can see a little better view of that. I don't think I really need to clean up this edge. I cleaned up as much as possible, but I think the pressure between this pushing up against the other board will be perfectly fine where that won't even matter anymore. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish doing the cuts into this one. Okay, so it's the next morning. So let me show you where we're at. So the second one that I was working on, which is this one had, I don't know if it was a giant knot in here or what, but it was like a very moist piece of wood and it did not want to break. So that took me the longest. I did end up finding one of our woodworking kit and I was able to sand down the other one. This one will not sand down as nicely, but it's okay. I'm hoping that once I bolt it, the bolts will compress it up against the other piece of wood, so it will end up giving a flat surface, and then maybe I'll come back with some wood filler or wood glue just to go ahead and seal up those edges. So this is where we're at with this one. This is the cross T. This is the ground 4x4. So as you can see, I notched out an area right here. It was easier to notch these out than it was to notch these out just because of the angle that it's at. But I ended up notching out a section for these and it sits in there very nicely. I think once I get the actual boards, the bolts in there, like I said, it should tighten it. And then naive little me, I forget that these are not really 4x4s. They're usually like 3.5 by, they're usually 3 inches and some change. And so when I did my measurements for these guys here, I measured 4 inches. And so I have a lot of space on the side. So I'll probably end up taking some wedges that I have and just wedging them in there to close up the gap. So yeah. So I'm gonna go grab the drill and the bolt kit so I can get the correct drill height, measurement, whatever. And then I'll end up drilling through these for the bolt holes. I'm gonna try. Okay, so I have the post in the hole. I just had to put concrete in it. Okay, so I have the next one in. It's pretty much, I think, lined up with the other one. I kind of eyeballed it to line it up. It is for sure the same height as far as with the slope levels changing. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some concrete put in this one as well. Okay, so we are in the play area now. It's about 95 degrees outside, so I don't want to be out in the direct sunlight, and the kids are playing out here with me, and I'm pretty sure they don't want to be out in the direct sunlight. So what's nice is that Terry does give us shade. So you guys are seeing a non-shaded part, but I am sitting in the shade, which makes the biggest difference when you are out in Arizona. But okay, so this is the kit that I ended up buying. It came with everything that we ended up needing. I'm talking to you over here instead of over where I'm building at because the generator is on right now because because it was like 100 and something degrees today, and so now all of a sudden, as soon as I turn the camera on, the wind wants to pick up. But anyways, so I went ahead and I mounted the first tee. I'll show you over there in a minute. It's just you won't be able to hear me. So I mounted the first tee on there and it worked out perfect. I did have a little issue where I thought I could get ahead and go ahead and I put all the bolts in, and I had them like this much sticking out of the back end, and then when I went to go attach it to the other piece, they ended up sucking into the first piece of wood, and they went through the second piece, but then there was like a giant gap in the middle. So I had to figure out how to back them all out, and then I went ahead and backed them out to where they were barely sticking out, pressed the wood up against, and then it was enough to actually form the tight seal that we were looking for. So that was a learning lesson for me. can hear me, I'm gonna have to put a shim over on this side just to get it to not be like it is right now. Okay, so we still need to stain the line and everything, but this is what it ended up looking like. So it has the 4 strands on there. But yeah, it's so far we've used it a few times and it holds the clothes up nicely as long as the wind isn't going crazy. But one thing I do like about it is that we can adjust the tension with these guys over here so that if we get a little bit of too much sag, we can go ahead and just tighten those up. But yeah, I'll go ahead and see you guys in the next video. I appreciate you for watching. Bye.